Hi everyone, Sandra Duran Wilson here, and welcome to this week's Mixed Media Soul Sparks. Every week I bring you some new ideas, some fresh tips, some maybe crazy ideas, who knows. And this week I've got one of my crazy ideas of what I want to share with you. And if you're anything like me, you end up with lots of little bits and pieces of papers, painted papers, leftovers, this, that, and the other, and they just kind of, I think they breed in the dark, and I end up with more and more of them. So I want to show you something really fun to do with them. And I call this collage bundles, and a few different ways of working with this. And you can kind of see before me, I have lots of little pieces of things here. Even some of my background paper, it's like a little scribble thing. And what I'm going to do with this, and I'm not going to take the time to show you gluing this down because it's pretty obvious, but I would use my palette knife and a soft gel gloss to just start to glue all of these papers down onto this surface. And you might notice that I've got some strong blacks in here, I've got some graphics, I've got some colors. And here's one that I've already done, and you can see bits and pieces of those. I think it's important to start to add patterns and kind of think of a theme with your colors, to have some graphics in there. And then this was just glued onto a piece of mixed media paper, and it's all dry now, and that's what this one will end up being like. This is what I might do with it. So let's say I just want to take and create something that's going to go into a painting. And I can cut it any shape I want, and it becomes like a little composition on its own. Kind of fun. Another thing I like to do is just take and cut strips. Because when you have strips like this, then these can be added into a painting as well. So you make a big bundle and then you cut down whatever sizes, shapes, little pieces like this, and they can be added to your mixed media paintings. This one, just randomly cutting it out, I think it turned into a nice little design. The other thing is you might want to create one that goes for a particular place, like here. I'll hold this up so you can see the kind of details in it. Now this is a painting that was just one of my little cleaning off the palette knife. I think I had some gel or something, and then I was cleaning off some paint. And this is a paper, it's almost like a fabric, but it is a paper. And I was cleaning the studio, and I kind of threw that on there, and there were some other little pieces. And I made this little collage bundle to actually go onto here along with this. And I will finish this piece and put it into the video so you can see how I do the little details. But all of these were just little scraps laying on the table, but they all kind of came together to work for this. Here is kind of another little bundle of book pages. I sometimes will group them with ideas of what might go together. And these can, again, be little compositions, little designs. Here's another one that I did on fabric. You can do these on fabric, and then you can actually stitch them together. Again, this one could be painted more. It could be cut up. But if I wanted to have it as kind of a little design piece, I could just cut it up like this. And then this might, I just pop that off of there. Even if you put it onto a larger panel, obviously, and you could start to paint on here. So these little collage bundles are really fun. Here's another idea of how you might make these. And they are coated in acrylic. So both sides of the paper would be coated with an acrylic medium. I would use like a gloss medium. And then I just kind of pile them on top of each other. I take a piece, put them between a piece of cooking parchment, and I iron it together using a regular iron. Just make sure you put them between cooking parchment paper so you can iron your bundles together. And it's just the same way. And here's another one. So these are all little ideas. Another way to do it is using fusible web. Here I've actually added in string, and I'm using the fusible web to put the pieces together. This is another one where you would put it between the parchment paper and then use an iron to iron it. I like to hang on to all of my deli sheets where I've cleaned things off. Sometimes you just need to create some dark papers. So I had some leftover paint, and I had this piece of paper that I know this particular paper would fade out quite a bit. So I just took my leftover black paint and painted that, and I can use that in my little collage bundles. Here I've got these, kind of bright graphic pieces so you can see how your eye goes directly to that area rather than over to here. So these are great little areas to hang on to. Here's another little piece. I had it kind of composed here. And these were all just little leftover pieces that I will create a little kind of a mini painting, so to speak. So what I do with these is I just take a piece of plastic, put my plastic down, and take my knife and just start gluing things down. And when it's dry, I have these little bundles. So one other thing that you might do, this is aluminum tape. You can even use this to actually adhere your little bundles together. Very sticky stuff, so I'm not going to try it with gloves. I've done a YouTube video using this aluminum tape, so you can go watch that. Now, these are ideas for wrapping little pieces. And here I've wrapped several different pieces. And this is a grass from out in the garden, and I can just snip off that part. But let's just say you had something, your composition was something like this, and then you could adhere another little bundle on top of it. And what I like to do, because I have a lot of old books, and sometimes when I go to roll the pages, they're old and brittle. So for this one, I took and used a gloss medium and just glued the deli sheet, which had some paint on it. This one has an old dress pattern that had some paint, and this had a piece of the deli sheet. So now when I roll this, that paper is going to help hold it together. And then I can take and wrap it with either another piece of paper. I can wrap it with embroidery thread. I can put the grasses in, the paper, the feather, or who knows, whatever else I find. This is help holding that kind of brittle paper together. And again, I have another little bundle that I can do. So these are all so much fun. And it's just, you end up with using up all your little bits and pieces everywhere. So gather them up. Here's a tip. You're going to become a bit overwhelmed if you've got this big pile. I know I do. So I'll just kind of like grab stuff and put it aside, and I have to just use what's there. I can't go grab other things. Sort by colors, sort by graphics. You could do something all in black and white. So set yourself some design challenges, glue them, iron them, stitch them, however you want to put them together. And my favorite way is just kind of to do that and then start to cut them up. So thanks for joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing what you create. I'll finish something here and post it for you to see and write up a lot of tips and ideas for you. And I'll see you next week. Join the Creative Awakening Community on Facebook, where you'll be able to post your art, connect with other creatives around the world, and ask questions. Use the hashtag MixedMediaSoulSparks when posting your work on social media. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.